Bruce Lee has made headlines in a video gaming type of way, and I just think this is so freaking cool because I've been like watching for the past several weeks now Big Boss, Chinese Connection, and what's the other one that I keep watching? Return of the Dragon or Way of the Dragon. You know, two please, nice and cool. You guys that know your Bruce Lee movies, you'll know that scene that I just described right there. But Bruce Lee's made headlines in a huge, huge way. He's actually going to be part of the next UFC video game that's going to be coming out. That's right, EA is making history as Bruce Lee is going to be stepping into the octagon for the first time ever with the new EA Sports UFC game that's going to be coming out on June 17th. And folks, if you haven't seen the graphics for this yet, it is badass, let me tell you. And you know, I am all for this, Tammy. We were talking about it off and on when we first had heard about the news, but it's like, it's a good time to be a Bruce Lee fan. I mean, because when you think about the UFC, they have like one of the best promotions that's out there when it comes to mixed martial arts. I remember Dana White, a few other UFC fighters. There was a Bruce Lee documentary that had came out several years ago, and they all were part of it. And Dana White, very passionate about his love for Bruce Lee. Here's what Shannon Lee, Bruce Lee's daughter and CEO of Bruce Lee LLC and chairperson of the Bruce Lee Foundation, had to say about this. Direct quote, "I'm so excited about this opportunity to bring my father back to video games. I'm thrilled that fans can now interact with him in a new way. The EA Sports UFC development team has been incredible to work with, and they've done a great job in capturing the look and feel of my father. I think people will love getting a chance to fulfill a fight fantasy by playing Bruce Lee in the new UFC game." And if you pre-order this game right now, day one, you will have access to Bruce Lee. Otherwise, now understand this, he's in the video game, but you're going to have to do some stuff to unlock him. If you pre-order it now through your respected retail store, GameStop, whatever, you pre-order, you'll be able to get early access to him day one when the game is released. So that's pretty freaking awesome right there. It's been a good minute since I've played a UFC game. I'm definitely going to be getting on top of this. I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan, and to be able to play as him, I can remember the last Bruce Lee video game that came out, and I must say it just rubbed me the wrong way. It was like just as bad as the last Rocky video game that came out. I was just like, ugh, you know, it was crazy. Speaking of which, I know that there are definitely those out there that feel that Shannon has somewhat hurt the legacy of her late father, and I totally can understand that aspect. I can totally understand that side of the argument, as we've seen Shannon do some pretty questionable things throughout the years involving Bruce Lee, some things that just kind of make you go, what the hell? And also, hey, if her father was still alive, would he be down for this? Of course, let's not forget, earlier this year, and what I thought was a really stupid Dutch beer commercial that had involved some of my favorite musicians, celebrities of all time. You had Elvis in there, Marilyn Monroe, Bruce Lee was in there, God, Tupac Shakur was in there. I mean, it was just an all-star cast of celebrities that were in there. And I couldn't help but kind of say to myself when I saw that Bruce Lee was in there, wait a minute now. I don't know. I think if Bruce Lee was still alive, he wouldn't sign up for that. Of course, if you go back a year before, there was a car commercial that had involved her father, and some could kind of say, well, what the hell does Bruce Lee have to do with the car? I don't get it. And I guess they were trying to make the whole argument that the car, like Bruce Lee, is very small, it's compact, but it's fast as hell. It's got finesse, all that other good stuff, yada, 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 blah, 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 yakety smackety, you know? But, you know, hey, let's not also forget that Shannon, she's had somewhat of a unsuccessful career in Hollywood. I just want to make sure that we stress that. I mean, I still remember back, God, and I go way back right here. I'm definitely showing not only a pretty damn good memory, but I'm showing how far back I go, like, as far as cool moments in my childhood. Anybody remember that fake Mortal Kombat series that she hosted for one season. It was called WMAC Masters. It lasted like about 2 seasons, and basically it had got canceled due to ratings and everything. It really wasn't syndicated like that. Basically, it had showed real martial artists that were like in this tournament for the ultimate prize, the Dragon Star. And the Dragon Star was basically this big ass gold trophy that was like proof that its holder was the best martial artist in the world. It basically ran from like 95-ish to maybe 97, 98 or something like that. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, YouTube or Daily Motion it, but I'm sure I probably struck a chord with you guys that are like, yeah, I remember that show. That show was badass. Yeah. And Shannon was the host for like one season. You know, ever since her brother Brandon had died, she was trying to gradually get her way in there, get her foot in the door with Hollywood. But some of the projects that she had took on, I mean, when you really go back and you look at her career, it's been pretty mediocre. So how does she make up for that? Some could make the argument that she's been nothing more than a cash slut, a cash whore, and has just been whoring out her father's name and likeliness to whoever has the money, you know. And I could definitely see that argument with some of the projects that she's done involving her dad over the years. Definitely that beer commercial I was telling you guys about, some of the piss poor video games involving Bruce Lee that had came out. You know, I would like to think though that with this move of her dad being in the UFC, that it's a step going in a better direction as far as making sure that his legacy remains intact, because Bruce Lee, as we all came to know and really love and appreciate, he was one of those type of guys that just really was trying to fight in Hollywood. You know, he was trying to break down those racial barriers and all that. I still remember when he came up with the whole idea for Kung Fu, and he was supposed to be in the lead role. This was supposed to be his big break, given the success that he had on the short-lived Green Hornet series, which was very popular in the US, but even more popular overseas. And this was supposed to be that big break, but due to politics, executives have felt that it would be better if a white man was in the lead role, and thus it had went to David Carradine. A little nice trivia for you guys that might not know about that. So, I mean, for most of his career, he was always trying to break down barriers and everything. You know, it just kind of seems like over the years, his identity, his legacy, it's kind of gotten a little bit tarnished, given the different projects that Shannon has been involved in, loaning out his name and likeliness and all. But I'm really hoping that with Bruce Lee being involved in this new UFC video game, that it's a step going in the right direction, in a very strong positive direction, because whether some of you guys may like it or not, Shannon, she's going to be around for a pretty long time. This girl is still young. She's 45. She's probably going to be holding on to that Bruce Lee legacy at least for a possible 40 years. You never know. I mean, if there's any hope that his legacy will be intact, for sure, it's possible that maybe her kids, when they come to age and right power, that maybe they'll be able to take it over and do it the proper justice that it needs to. But I don't know. I think, honestly, I think Shannon is probably going to start doing the right thing. And honestly, I think this is a really good start. We'll just have to kick back, wait and see what happens. But you know what? I'm all for Bruce Lee being involved in this new EA Sports UFC game. I'm definitely going to be picking up my copy. How about you? Sound off. Let me know what you think about Bruce Lee being in this video game. If it's good, or hey, if it rubs you the wrong way, definitely go out of your way, post those comments below, and we'll follow up on what y'all have to say on a future episode of the RCWR Show.